you. And the prophet says, don't you know that God has hidden her condition from me and I didn't see it? And as pastors, there are pains in the congregation that we are not able to see, but when we get up close and personal with the people, it helps us see their pain and see their suffering and be able to guide them to a place where they can overcome the hurdles of life and move on to a better place in God. He says, all right, I understand, I'm feeling you. Okay, calm down. She said, the child is gone. He says, okay. He said, Gehazi, take my staff, go lay it on the boy's face. And Gehazi leaves, and he says, don't talk to nobody. If somebody try to give you some fried chicken on the way, don't take it. Just keep moving straight. Y'all act like y'all don't eat fried chicken early in the morning. That's why I don't like church people. They lie. But he sends the servant. But the woman says, I don't care who you send. I'm not leaving right here. My commitment is to stand here with you until my blessing is restored back to me. And Jamal, that's what needs to happen. You know, in the first 11 years, through many dangers, toils, and snares, you've already come. And some folk have said, Pastor, I love you, and I'm standing with you. But I found out when it really hit the fan, you found out who was with you as opposed to who was for you. The building was full when people were with you, but they were not for you. But when God emptied out the wrong kind of people, he's making room in the next 11 years for the right kind of people to take you higher in Jesus Christ. Some of them folk needed to be gone because they was a hindrance to worship, a hindrance to the spirit, and they caused trouble everywhere they went. I'm glad they gone. Adios, au revoir, sayonara. We didn't need you at all because God is able to supply all our needs according to, not what Jamal says, but according to his riches in glory. Listen, y'all. Listen. Gehazi goes to the house, puts the stick on the little boy's face. Nothing happens. And see, sometimes you can't send an underling to do what only a prophet can do. It's some stuff, you can't delegate some stuff. You can't assign some duties to some people. Some stuff is strictly for the prophet to do. And you will not get results until you move and let the prophet do what only a prophet is able to do. Because a servant can't fix a problem they have no understanding of. Elijah goes with the woman, and when he gets there, he closes the door. He's in the room with the boy by himself. And it helped me understand that when we face dead situations, sometimes you got to close the door and leave every kind of interference on the outside. You got to close some doors and leave that emotional stuff on the outside. You got to leave your doubts and your fears and the inability that's in you on the outside. And when you close the door, you making room for God to send his presence into a dead place and make life come forth again. So Elisha is in the room with a dead and lifeless child. And sometimes you have to go to solitary places in your walk with God. And oftentimes when you find yourself in a solitary place, it doesn't make sense. I help everybody. I never let folk down. I keep my word. My word is my bond. I'm always there. I'm always giving. I don't talk about nobody. I'm living right. I'm doing right. God, why am I in a solitary place? He gets us in solitary places to be alone with us. But because we have not really fully understood what intimacy with God really is, we think he's punishing us when he's really trying to have some quiet time with us. He's really trying to get us alone so I can speak a word to your soul. I'm trying to get you to a place where you can hear me amidst the noise that's going on in your life. I'll put you in a solitary place just to show you that all power still is in the palm of my hand. I'll let everybody leave you and forsake you just to show you that there's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not a one. I thank God for every one of my solitary places, because I got a lesson when I was in solitary confinement. I found out he's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. I found out he's bread in a starving land. I found out for myself that my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. Elijah prays unto the Lord, which helps me understand the formula for dealing with dead situations. You got to close some stuff out the room. You got to be alone with the situation, and you got to pray to God. But he prays and nothing happens. Sometimes you got to step your warfare up to the next level. You got to get eye to eye, nose to nose, lip to lip, and hand to hand with the stuff that's sucking the life out of you. Sometimes you got to get in the devil's face and say, I'm tired of crying myself to sleep. I'm tired of you messing with my money. I'm tired of my body being racked with pain. I'm tired of getting other people to pray for me. I'm tired of always laying down at the altar. I ain't running from you no more. I'm not scared of you. I'm going to stand here, and one of us going to have to leave. I'm not going nowhere until I get what I got to say off my chest. The word says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. To resist him, you got to fight him by faith. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Anybody ever had to fight him like that? But you got to be aware. Beware, y'all, because there's some mixed signals in the text. Because Elijah gets in the face of the little boy, and the boy gets warm. And I tried to figure out, I said, well, Lord, why just get warm? He said, you know the answer. Every time you get sick, you do the man thing. You don't never want to go to the doctor because you think, I'm going to be all right. And then when you go to the doctor will prescribe medicine for you. And instead of taking it for 10 days like it says, you take it for the first 3 days and you start feeling better, and you stop taking it for the next 7 days. And I said, Lord, what does that have to do with me in the scripture? He says, well, what happens is you don't have enough in your system to kill the germ. You just got enough in your system to paralyze the germ. You just paralyze the germ long enough so it can't attack you. It can't move. But when you take the whole prescription, it knocks the thing out. But when you take half of it, you just get warm. And that's why some of us can't get our breakthrough, because you give up, you throw in the towel, you shout, you dance, you leap around before you're able to kill what it is that's in your system. The boy just got warm. And it's frustrating for a man of God to pour everything you have into a dead situation and try to bring somebody back to life, and they just get warm. Just warm. What is it, 4,015 days and 11 years? Just warm. He been sweating and preaching, done wore out many ties, suits, and shirts. Warm. When he feel good, then you hot. When he not good, warm. And the text says that he walked back and forward, which shows that preachers get frustrated, and sometimes they have moments when they got to walk the floor with God morning, noon, and night. This man's walking back and forth, up and down the floor, and it dawns on him sometimes when the process doesn't work the first time, you got to repeat it. So he goes back and gets in the face of the little boy again, and the little boy this time sneezes 7 times. He sneezes. And a sneeze is an involuntary, violent reflux expulsion of air through the nose and mouth to expel an irritant that's in the nasal cavity. It's something irritating the little boy on the inside. He looks fine on the outside, but it's something wrong with him on the inside. It's something irritating him. And isn't it good to know that you have mechanisms in your body that will get the irritants out of you? Achoo. That's the lies I told. Achoo. That's the money I stole off my mother's dresser. Achoo. That's all that dishonesty and disobedience. When you sneeze, you're getting some stuff out your system. I'm going to make it personal. When you were at the Baltimore Grand, they said, that's not traditional AME church. Achoo. Get it out your system, Jamal. They said, oh, it's not going to work. He's just a fly-by-night young preacher. Achoo. Then you went to Coppin, and then they caught an attitude because you was getting too big. Achoo. Then you went to Walbrook, and Walbrook didn't work out. Achoo. Then you had personal problems in your family that hit you close to your heart. Achoo, 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 achoo. Sometimes you just gotta have a good sneeze and get it out of your system. He ain't married you after 10 years. Achoo, get him out your system. You've been working, training everybody, and everybody getting a promotion. Achoo, it's time to look for a new job.